All right, since you're all here, I'll just record it. So Moen's role will essentially be whatever we decide to do, like whatever our strategy ends up being. He'll actually just handle the implementation of it, making sure that the integration with JVzoo and our shit's actually launched, where I don't actually have to do anything, and he can just go in because he apparently already has experience. I'll work with him again on what the price points are and what we're going to pay him to get it done, to make sure shit's done successfully. And whatever we decide to do, if we decide, let's launch one product, what product is that going to be? Let's launch 3 products. Where are those going to be? He essentially has his marching orders on what needs to be done. He apparently already knows what to do. I'm assuming if he has questions, and I could just have you be the point of contact for him, Kevin, to help him to know,
sure.
Okay, here's the shit that needs to be done.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
So Melvin should be taken care of. He just watches this video. He can understand what we decided. And then if he has any questions, he can refer to this video for what needs to be done, like what the plan is. And if he has any questions on the actual how to implement it, then he can just refer to you. But he shouldn't have questions on the implementation, because one of the reasons I'm asking him to do it is because I was recommended that he already knows how to do this shit, which is why I wanted him to do it. I don't know how to do it, and I don't want to learn how to do it. And I would just prefer that somebody who knows how to do it and has already done it just does it so it can be done.
Cool. It's pretty simple. He'll do a little bit of work on the back end at JVzoo. He'll do a little bit of work on the back end at ClickFunnels and integrate them both. Like I said, you pull up the funnel here in ClickFunnels, and down at the very bottom on the settings page is the integration page for JVzoo. Select JVzoo, marry that account information to the account that was set up over at JVzoo. Once it's good and ready to go, once it's good and ready to go, then you'll be able to go back into JVzoo and finish out that process. There's actually, if he knows what he's doing, he doesn't need the training videos. There's actually training videos that walk him through that as well.
So from my perspective, what I would need to do is provide access to my ClickFunnels account to him, and then essentially just tell him what is the funnel and go in and actually clone that funnel. So if we decide we're going to launch Invoicing You, then I need to clone Invoicing You and have an Invoicing You funnel that I name Invoicing You JVzoo, and that will be the funnel that essentially he goes in. If we're going to do robo contact, I clone this funnel, and essentially somewhere in settings, I think, he goes in and does this.
Setting, yeah, all the way to the bottom is where the third-party integration piece is. So he'll add a product.
He should know how to do all that shit already, hopefully.
Yeah, he'll know how to do it. Up at the top, you just clone it.
Right. I'll just clone this, and then just essentially give him the funnel name and say, touch this funnel, only this funnel, don't touch any other funnel, and just trust that he doesn't fuck any of my other shit up, and he just messes.
Right. So like right here where the name is robocontact.io, maybe you name it, robocontact, JVzoo. That's perfect. And then he just integrates JVzoo down at the bottom of that funnel. And then he'll marry that funnel to the JVzoo account.
But John would do that naming to the clone funnel, right? Not to the original.
Correct.
Yeah, to the clone funnel.
Capos. So from my side, all I need to do is whatever products we decide to launch, clone them, name them with the clone, funnel name JVzoo, and say, hey, boss, and give him access to my ClickFunnels account, the list of funnels that he's going to be doing, and then the integration for, and then give him access to the JVzoo account that I set up under your team. Capos. And
yes,
I'm done.
That is it.
I don't need to do anything else.
No, that is it. That's all you have to do.
Okay. If he has
what is the typical price point for products on JVzoo right now? I'm not really.
They vary. I see them from $27, a one-time purchase, up to there's some $8,000 courses. Mentor courses. You can go into what they call their marketplace. So you can go in. You can go in and see what's available.
Are they typically one-time, or they're recurring also?
They have recurring stuff as well, but most of it is one-time, one-offs.
Are you seeing any software products successfully, that are successfully making traction that are recurring?
I'd have to ask Laura, to be 100% honest with you. I'm officially on board, but we're not doing the onboarding process until after Thanksgiving. A lot of the team is out for the holidays, so I'll get a better peek into everything next week.
Well, my take on it is there is a stigma in some of the internet world for JVzoo products. There is that one stigma that some people have for JVzoo products. But my take on it is, if to some extent, I don't really care if we make money from a JVzoo launch if we can essentially mitigate our cost to acquire a customer. Okay, so if I can do something like launch sticky reviews and get 100,000 users on sticky reviews and not make any money, but get 100,000 emails that are using one of our softwares, and I don't actually have to pay the cost to acquire that customer, and I can cross up on other shit and completely mitigate affiliate commissions and stuff, that to me is a very viable thing, even if it's just a one-time fee, and most of that fee goes to the actual JVzoo affiliates. That's still a success for us because it saves us a huge, because then it's on sticky reviews, it has a low price point, we can upsell them on 5 or 6 other softwares and continue to do that as we launch 3 software.
Yeah, we're essentially building a list at that point.
Correct. I wouldn't want to do that on text and bulk or robo-contact, something like that, because then we're trying to cross-sell these people on a software that has a very low price point that is going to be harder to get them to actually, they have a less incentive to actually buy that because it's not so useful. And they could probably go to JVzoo and find another product similar to it on a one-time payment fee.
Yep, that's smart.
If we can do a recurring payment, if we can do something recurring where they're comfortable and we can actually make traction on a recurring product where it's going to be recurring sales, then I don't have a problem, doing something like robo-contact or text in bulk there, because we're going to actually make those residual sales. I wouldn't want to do them both, obviously, because if we do them both, we got to pay the commissions on both. If we do just one, then we can do the same thing. We do robo-contact, we get a bunch of users, we can then get those users. It is a recurring thing, and then we also market to those guys for text and bulk and keep 100% of that revenue.
John, do you see an option where something like, whether it be sticky reviews or Link Wizard, they have a one-time fee for, but that's capped at usage, and then the unlimited is really recurring? Something like what you have with domain leads now, where they get 50 a day kind of a thing.
Yes, but not.
Then with the unlimited.
Yes, but that would put a pretty substantial time delay on anything, because if you remember, Dennis, most of our products I built for 2 reasons: for our own personal use and for demo.
Yeah, they're all unlimited, basically.
Which means most of them don't have real user role that limit functionality. Like in text and bulk, there is no different user level. It's all the same user level, and it's just the front end that's a trick on the psychology on the front end. If you buy
the one that's different is domain leads, because there you do have a throttle, right? Yeah. You have a 50 per day. So maybe something like that. So there is already a built-in throttle. They can get that for a low one-time fee, but it's capped at a certain number per day. If they want the unlimited version, then that becomes a monthly. That might be an option.
So with something like domain leads, it would be, okay, we got the free 50 leads a day account. Through JVzoo, we'll sell the 500 leads a day account for a one-time fee, and then we still have a path to upgrade that doesn't exist yet, because there is no way to make a purchase in domain leads yet. The other accounts exist, but there is no actual way for the user to upgrade.
Nor do I think we really want them to. We want them really to upgrade to text in bulk.
Right. So if they, and we can do that. So a couple of things I would like to get out of the way with JVzoo is I don't understand their payment structure. How does that work? Who collects the payment? And is that JVzoo collecting the payment? If so, how are we paid? How and when are we paid?
Yeah, when you set up the account, it'll have account payment deals. So, you can have it going to a PayPal account, for example. So, at the end of the period when they just disperse that, that'll end up in your account. They keep 5%. So 5% of whatever sale happens, they keep 5%. That's the cost of doing business. And, and I'll tell you right now, I would not be offended in any way if you also add this over at ClickBank. So if you clone the funnel again and get a third account and upload it to ClickBank, I would not be offended. And then you have access to another 300,000 affiliates over at ClickBank.
Well, I want to walk before we run, so I don't really want to launch them all everywhere. I'd like to do at least get one thing. Right. So you're saying with JVzoo is going to act as a payment gateway. They're going to collect the actual money. They're going to, according to some terms, at some point distribute that money directly to the affiliates, take their 5% cut, and then whatever's left over, they're going to pay us. What's that look like in time of days? Do they have like a holding period of 30 60 days?
For the affiliate? So this is how they kind of clean up that affiliate channel so they don't get turds in there. For the affiliate themselves, they're on 90-day terms. They don't get paid for 90 days. So, but if you decide that you've got like a great affiliate who's doing a lot of work for you and you've got an established relationship with them, you can change the terms with any affiliate you want. You can make it 30-day. You can make it 30-day terms. You can make it instant. They close the sale, they get paid instantly. So that's something you set up once you start building a trust value with their affiliates. But by default, any affiliate that signs up and you approve is going to be on 90-day payment terms.
But they get paid by JVzoo and not by me.
JVzoo pays them.
Okay. So when do they pay us? When do they actually release funds to us?
I think it's immediate to you as a seller. Or maybe it's 30 days. I'll have to look.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask. How do they deal with refunds and how do they actually do refunds?
Yeah. They manage it all. They'll hit you with chargebacks. If anything gets returned, they hit your account.
Well, if I connect PayPal, they can't hit me with chargebacks from PayPal.
They can't hit you there, but you'll have your account and you'll have money owed.
Okay, so they won't give like a real chargeback where it comes out of my account. They'll just put me in a negative balance and say, hey,
I'll have to ask them. Yeah, I'll ask Laura officially how it happens. Again, I'm still waiting to do my official onboarding over there. Right now, we're just doing some back-end semantic stuff and connecting her with some key people that she needs over at JVzoo.
So is it more realistic timing, like in a week or so, a week to 2 weeks, once you're done with the onboarding? Get some
probably
further
14
insight?
days. 14 days, I'll have a much better understanding.
Okay. Got it.
We'll get through Thanksgiving. I travel the week of the 11th through the 13th. I'm in Florida. Going on. I've been invited to partner in a company over there, a new tech company, AI chatbots. So at any rate, I'll be gone the 11th through the 13th. But in between Thanksgiving and those dates, I'll get a good introduction to JVzoo and what they're doing and how it's
right.
done.
So you're thinking 14 days pretty much from now, right? Is when we should be able to really hit the ground running.
I'll have a much better understanding, and I can get a lot of questions answered by then. And in fact, John, if you want to do me a favor, in fact, the group, if you guys want to put together a list of the key questions that we need answered, I'll get those answered.
Okay.
In the meantime, is there some kind of a guide or something for folks who are looking to sell on JVzoo, so we can take a look at that as well?
John has this account, and you do as well. But John, as a seller, he can log in. In fact, let me look over here. So he can go in as a seller, seller's dashboard, customer split test, seller knowledge base. So they have what they call the seller's knowledge base, and in there he could see a basic fact sheet and a bunch of other articles that aren't showing up, and get support there.
All right, cool. Yeah, just if we're going to post questions to it, I'd rather than be already not so preliminary,
Right. Well, you can get them answered over on the FAQ before you have to ask them of somebody else internally. And they'll have point of contacts for us. I'll have all that information as well.
Do you have a rough idea from the time that we actually go through this funnel cloning process until it actually starts getting marketed actively to affiliates? What is that time gap?
Once it's uploaded, it'll be introduced to the affiliates. The affiliates will know there's new product up there. Now, for me, my intent is to kind of figure out, and I'll get a list, who are the ethical people that are doing a lot of business. That's the list I want. I don't want the turds. I guarantee you, there are turds. Some of the things you hear about JVzoo, there are turds, but we don't have to authorize those turds either. We can handpick who is able to sell the product. Okay. That's the same thing over at ClickBank. You can pick who does it over there.
So I think John mentioned last time that Rocket Contact was initially offered via JVzoo. Were you able to dig anything up on that?
No, because I didn't have anything to do with that because I don't care about stuff like that.
Okay, now I was just trying to see in terms of its traction in the marketplace.
Let me look. Is it still over there? Do you know if it's still in there?
I searched for it, but I didn't find it. But I know that online in Google, you can find references to JVzoo and Rocket Contact.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what the purchase history was, issues, or anything else that may have come up.
So I'm assuming a lot of the questions that I initially have with JVzoo can be found out on their page. All right.
Yeah, on their dashboard and FAQs, right?
Let me tell you my perspective. I don't want to do any of this shit. I want to fucking manage a team of software engineers and build software. That's as much as I want to do. I don't want to go. I want to know that I have people that I can trust that can ask the same type of questions that I would be asking and have those same type of concerns. I can somehow go find that information themselves instead of me having to make it, and then they could make the logical decisions. Like, you know, like I don't want to manage who the fuck promotes our shit or not. I mean, I don't want to sit and have to go through a list of people and be like, okay, this guy can promote. I want that to be managed somehow through somebody.
Well, why don't I take on that task, since that's my baby. That's where I'm at.
What would be the compensation for that? What would be your, like, outside of just goodwill, and the fact that they're, you know, the management of that is beneficial to a partnership that you're already part of? What would be your incentive for that shit to, like, my problem whenever people just say, hey, I'll do that, is I understand that if they don't actually have any real incentive, that their dedication to doing that, it's like, am I going to do that or am I not going to do that? And a lot of times, well, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, you know what? When you get down to the nuts and bolts of it, when you start managing hundreds, if not thousands, of affiliates that are selling your product, it could be a headache. I don't know. What do you feel is fair compensation for? I'm not asking for the world, but what do you think is fair compensation for something like that?
Well, is it something that you think you want to manage, or is it something that we think that we just need to have a dedicated person that we can go in and provide some type of incentive package and budget, and that dude, all he does is just manage our different affiliate accounts? Yeah,
the problem that you have, well, here's the good thing. The good thing is it's off my plate. But then that person who has questions does not have the access to the people I do. So
right.
Then
they have you, right? But they do
have me. But now we're two-stepping a bunch of information. So I don't know. I'm good with either scenario. With me, I'm direct. With that person, they're direct to me, and then they got to wait for me to get answers and back and back. So there's a little bit of a delay in there. I'm okay with either situation.
Well, what I think would be fair compensation, obviously, it is a proportion to results that are coming in. So I, right off the bat, would say JVzoo's already created a fair compensation for me. It's 5%, and whatever, you know, the same shit that they're charging is also the compensation that dude can get. That way it's 10% fee right off the bat to manage the JVzoo, and then an additional fee on what the affiliates are, and then whatever's left over is left over. At the end of the day, my real goal with JVzoo, I don't care if it makes us a shit ton of like direct money. My end thought there is we
build a list.
We want to accelerate the list building. Yeah. We want to accelerate that and blow it up. Yep.
So we need to find, if that's the case, we need to figure out one product, really, to be honest with you. We need to figure out one product that we know will get traction through the affiliates, a one-time purchase. So rather than a reoccurring, let's set up something, make it $27, let them sell the absolute crap out of it. You make very little margin on it, but what you're doing is you're list building. And now you've got, you know, a list of 10,000, 100,000 people that you can now go sell your core products to behind the scenes.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So now that we're talking about this and talking it out, maybe we keep, you know, the 5 or 6 products out of the marketplace. Find one that you know that they'll grab hold of. I mean, 50 free leads. I mean, you know, get it, or 100 free leads a day or whatever. Get them into something that they bought for $27, a way to generate leads through, you know, the domain piece. Sell that at a one-time deal, and then that's just a lead gen.
Yeah, I'm inclined towards that tool in particular because it speaks to the business side of someone's interest in getting that tool. Something like Link Wizard is a link shortener. You may or may not really be in true business mode and use that tool, right? But
everybody needs leads.
If you're planning on running a business, as opposed to you're just dabbling in software, right? Yeah. Right. So I would be inclined more towards that tool specifically.
Well, even as a software company, if you can generate new leads and introduce your product to new companies, I think that's a great sales tool as well. It's in our messaging. So build a, you know, and maybe, John, what we need is a new funnel with a core message built around it that speaks to the target audience. So, instead of that red ocean, we're creating a blue ocean, and the blue ocean is, for $27, purchasing this, you get X amount of leads. Shit, I wonder how you craft that. Obviously, it's a web domain, so you can regulate that yourself. But you get 100 leads a day for $27 purchase,
right,
and go out and hunt and find new leads for your company.
Yeah, John, we also need to take a look at to what extent do we want to continue offering domain leads free, open to the public? Maybe we have to see how that works out, because it diminishes the value of doing something like a JVzoo if you have X amount for free just by going to the site, and you can set up multiple email accounts, and then you have the equivalent of a couple hundred anyway per day if you want to enable the system.
That free, it's not much for me to go in and say instead of 50 you get 5 or you get 7. So the time complexity that it would actually take you to set up so many accounts and log into all of them and actually get you 7 free leads a day would be like literally if you don't have 100 emails already. So that wouldn't take much.
Sure.
That wouldn't take much time. My concern would be like, how do we launch a product at a low price point at like $27 or something like that, that's branded as a tier 5 product, which it to some extent has to be branded as a tier 5 product for our emails to have a value when we're actually trying to cross sell to another product that we want them to actually buy from us. So how do we keep the stigma away from us where people aren't going to think, oh, hey, this is just another JVzoo product that's going to be here for 3 months and then it's going to disappear, because it complies to all the other terms. It's a low cost. It's a one-time fee. How could they possibly continue to support this?
Well, maybe you raise the price. Don't sell for $27. Sell for $89.97. $99.97, $147.
Right, just increase the number of leads that they get. But also, Stephen, this goes to what Stephen Larson would say in terms of, you're providing them a solution to an initial problem, which opens up a bunch of other new problems, right? And those new problems are, now I've got leads, what do I do with them? How do I automate the outreach and all that kind of good stuff, which the text in bulk and other tools help you solve. So that's why, to me, this is a good foot in the door. You're giving them what looks like a very appealing solution right up front, which leads them to now think of additional layers of problems which they don't even know to encounter yet.
So you create that problem for them in that first email campaign. So they just bought this. I get 100 leads a day. It cost me $147. Fantastic. Here you are. Congrats on your purchase. How are you going to reach out to these folks?
Exactly.
Did you know that we have this?
So are we transparent?
That's my point.
Transparent in this message in the JVzoo product to let them know, look, how can we give this to you at this price and continue to support it and guarantee that it's here because we'll offer you these other stuff? I
think for them, they get the landing page with your video that shows them how they can pull in leads. So the one-time sale is $99.97. For $99.97 one time, you can access this software that'll give you 100 free leads a day. Perfect. They bought it. Now you've got them. Now that they bought it, you've got their information. You start targeting them with an email behind the scenes that says, hey, have you heard of text in bulk? Text in bulk will allow you to now reach out to all 100 of your leads, and you can automate this and send them a message.
So it seems
because above and beyond that, the text in bulk gives them unlimited leads. Right. So with the initial product, they got a handful, whatever that number is per day. Text in bulk, no throttle, plus a mechanism to do the outreach.
Sure. So you're saying from our initial offering, we don't care whether the user has the perception that this is just going to be another JVzoo product or not, because they're going to buy it just like they bought all the other products. But on the back end, we show them that this isn't just like any other product. It is supported. How could you tell? Because there's a support system. We've added in these changes, and we're showing you all these other software products that you can actually use in conjunction with this.
Yeah. Right. The small tool is just a small tool. It's not meant to grow, but it is meant to show you a pathway into a bigger problem and solution.
Right.
So it's really a standalone little product just on its own. It just does it's a one-trick pony. And it's limited in scope. It just does what it does, and you can run with it. Never have to buy anything again.
Is there a like a minimum price point or something on, I'm assuming that there must be some price point at which affiliates would be like, I don't even want to waste time promoting
right.
it because
I see a lot of products being marketed in the 27, 47, 67 range on JVzoo. The 27 always has an upsell. So they land on the funnel. The 27, they can bump it. So maybe there's 2 price points on this, and maybe for $27 they get 50 leads a day. And then in the funnel, you can bump them up from 27 to 67, and that 67 gives them 100 leads a day or 500 leads a day, however you want to set it up, 250 leads a day, and upsell. But once it's done, it goes through. The affiliate gets paid, the company gets paid, JVzoo gets their money on it, and then on the back end, you are now using a drip campaign to upsell other software from tier 5. So we got to figure out what's a good lead in, what's a good way to gather them. I think, $27, and then we determine how many leads a day they get. Maybe they get 50 leads a day for $27. And then as they click, they're interested. The next page is an upsell. Hey, let's take it from 50 leads a day to 250 leads a day for another $20 or $30, $40, however much you want to bump it up. And then that's it. Once they're in, they're in. And then you start building that database, that leads database, so you can start retargeting.
I would even be, what about this? You have, what I'm thinking basically is not only do we want the list, but I'd like to know more about them. So let's assume the price X, $50, let's say, whatever the number is, right?
Yeah.
But if they wanted to get a discount on that, we have them fill out a survey. It's a simple 30-second survey, but it tells us industry, major problem in their business, is it getting leads, keeping leads, selling more, et cetera, et cetera. So, and I have these questions kind of already built out, but if we ask those things, then our list is somewhat now able to be tapped into as a profile, right? Let's go after people in our list who say they're in e-commerce, who sell to businesses, not individuals, whose main problem is converting leads to sales, because all those things will help us identify which product or which product mix will solve that person's specific next big problem.
And you can target them with a language that makes sense to them, that meets their needs.
That's right. That's right. Because now we're not just selling you the software, right? The software is X, correct? So the upsell and this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
In essence, is not even an upsell. It's really, we're going to even help you save more if you help us with this 30-second survey kind of a thing. You don't have the time, no problem. Pay the full price.
Right. So, $67 today. Hey, how can I save 50% on my purchase today? Click here to learn more. Then you go in, help us with a survey, help us understand your industry. We'll save you 50% off the price today.
That's right. And then we don't even need to upsell them anything at that point per se.
Right.
We have their information. The other thing I was telling John before is if in the domain leads tool, let's assume for argument's sake, we were able to keep track of who is logging in or how frequently.
Yeah.
On the back end, we would know who are the active users of that tool. And those are the guys who go after. The person who downloaded 50 leads every single day for an entire week, we know they're trying to accumulate. That's the person who's going to appreciate the ability to scale out communications, right? The person who signed up for the tool, never logged in once, probably is not going to be interested in an upgrade because they hardly use what they bought. It was just, eye candy at the moment, right? But the person actively logging in, downloading every single day their leads, that person's a prime prospect for an upsell.
Right. I like it. It's all about lead generation and building a list.
And being able to qualify that prospect based on either product usage and or profile data.
Right.
What's the average commission? Like, what commission rate should we be paying the affiliates?
They make 40 to 50%.
40, 50. So if we give 60, 65%, then we're paying more than other people, and they have a more incentive to.
Actually, that's a brilliant idea. You'll get more love.
Well, if we're paying 60, 65%, then that means after we pay JVzoo and we pay whatever, if we're matching JVzoo for whoever's actually going to manage and be the person, I like to call them the person to yell at. Whoever's going to be the person to yell at for the JVzoo ships, we're looking at 70, 75% is going out to get
Yeah,
paid.
you know what? Thinking about this, John, thinking out loud, all we're trying to do is build a lead gen. We're trying to build a list, and that list can be retargeted. So the more attractive you make it for that affiliate, the more love they're going to give you. So if they could sell a lead generation offer, and let's say the commission is 80%, JVzoo doesn't care what you give for commission. They honestly don't care. They still get their 5%. So if it's a $67 product, they get 5% on the sale. If you give away the lion's share of that in commission to the affiliate, they're gonna work their butt off, and in doing so, you're gaining mind share with them. All we care about is building a list. Behind, you can retarget them with other tier 5 products.
They're going to work their butt off to some extent if they're smart. I mean, if they see a $67 product and they get 60% of it, they're probably still going to work their butt off more on a $1,000 product if they get 30% off. Probably going to try to sell the $1,000 even more, because overall they're going to go with the highest dollar yield for the most part.
You're right. There are some guys. There's guys in there that are moving a ton of the $27, $47, $67 products to their, and you have to also understand, as an affiliate, they already have their database of people too. They send things out to.
I'm assuming that I'm assuming that per product the commissions are set per product.
Right. They are.
Okay. So we can do it. Because to me it seemed like what could be a good approach is just launch one or launch two. Do something like domain leads for, let's say, a one-time payment. Do something like sticky reviews for a lower monthly retainer, right? Because I think there's still two different types of people. I think the more people that we can get, even on a lower fee, that is paying a monthly fee, the more actually conductive for the rest of our type of model, because it's a subscription-based model. A lot of the people who do it on a one-time fee, they'll buy it even if they never plan on using it at all, because it's like, well, I just paid one time for it and I get it forever. So even if I don't use it, no big deal.
Right. Right.
Right, but I think business people also, even if they're getting a one-time tool, they are using services like Aweber and such, which are monthly because their business requires it, right? So I'm not so sure that if people who buy one time would only buy one-time products in general.
But,
and if they do, they're the wrong kind of prospect anyway for us.
Agreed. And I think I also like the residual, obviously. I also like, obviously, charging $74 for a product is really no different than charging $70 for a product, or $7 a month for a product. If you think a dude's just going to stick around for 12 months, you're probably better off just to get it all up front instead of distributing it over time. Versus if you're going to charge $17, it's better to do the monthly, because you're making 2 times as much as you would make if you just sold it as a one-time fee. And I think something like a $17, like if we did something like sticky reviews and we actually upped the price and tweaked the price on our front end, on our front end funnels, and said, hey, this is here's where this product actually exists and it costs this much. This is JVzoo special. Instead of paying $95 a month or $97 a month, you're paying $27 a month, or you're paying $17 a month, and then we build in something that's still a residual cash flow instead of just that one-time payment. So we could launch just one and see how does a thing work on a one-time payment on JVzoo, or we can launch two and we can say, let's try a one-time payment, let's try a monthly payment, and let's see kind of if there is a demonstrable difference between how they actually perform. And if we're able, obviously, if we can see, hey, a residual thing, actually, we just made $10,000 sales on this thing that's a monthly thing, then it's possible that a lot of our products we could bootstrap on JVzoo, right? Like we could first bootstrap that product, get an initial user base that's actually paying monthly, and then after that, be like, oh, hey, we just generated ad spend on this, and we may not actually have to do that neither. If there's some way for us to get the affiliate info, where after we get a list of affiliates from 1 or 2 launches, we can also move those affiliates off of JVzoo into our own affiliate platform.
Well, what about having just one product, but in both models? So let's assume, again, domain leads. A flat price, you get a limit of X 50 a day or whatever that low number is, right? But if you get on the recurring version, you get to 500 a day. So now we have one product. It's one message in terms of what its value is, but you have two tiers at which you can come in at. And that lets us play with both models within the same product.
I don't necessarily have a problem with that, because it doesn't seem like it's going to be too to the buyer whenever they go to. It doesn't really matter to me if we launch one software or two softwares. Or just
I guess the reason I'm saying that is because if we're really trying to compare results, if you add the variable of an entirely different product, then it kind of skews your stats. You're not sure if the purchase is happening despite it being monthly, or it's because the product value itself, what it delivers, was totally different.
Agreed. I agree there. I can agree that we could most likely make an inference on what we would think the difference is based on the just overall values of those products. But I agree. It definitely wouldn't be like a one-to-one saying, okay, we got more sale on domain leads on this versus X on sticky reviews on a monthly. So it must just be better to do one-time fees than monthly because we got more sales on the one-time fees. If we're considering that, unless we can just look at the softwares and say, hey, we think that domain leads has a 5 times more value to a consumer than sticky reviews. So we just assume that whatever results we see from the one-time fee should be at least 5 times greater than the residual fee. If we see that they're only 2 times greater, then we can see that the residual model has just as much credence and just as much viability as the one-time fee. Or we could just launch one and say, hey, let's not make it complicated. Let's just do the first one and see how it actually pans out for us. I just always prefer individuals.
To your point earlier, John, of walking before running, right? So probably one product, and then we can go from there and decide we want to launch a second with an entirely different model, or launch 2 models within one product. But I would rather take things at a pace where we can control more of it, and we're not adding more to our plate as far as 2 different softwares out with 300,000 affiliates and whatever issues that's going to present to us as far as questions, support, tweaks, or anything else.
Okay.
Maybe, honestly, for me, this is just thinking, in my opinion, maybe we just launch one, and that's our core strictly for lead generation through JVzoo, follow up behind the scenes, and hit them with anything else that, might be of interest to them. If it's domain leads is what they're buying, well, the first thing they're going to need right after that is a way to reach out to these people, and that's text and bolt.
Right.
Maybe that's our play. Build it on one message.
Right. And even if they want not only to reach out, but to expand how they can get more leads, then robo-content comes into play as well, right? Because it's the same theme as lead generation, which is a different way to do it and a different audience altogether.
Right.
So we can just launch one.
I would say we go with domain leads. We need to think in terms of how do we adjust what we're currently doing with domain leads publicly. Hardly anyone's really promoting it, using it just yet. So maybe we redo that one a little bit and put it out there more on the JVzoo front, so it becomes that list builder for us.
So I have the easiest question of all of them for me is, considering the fact I think the best ideal is really, like, at this stage, to build a list. I don't actually, to the most part, care if we make any money or not on the tier 5 end, as long as we're actually able to go in and start building up a list that we can market to and make money that way without having to actually pay for consumer, like pay for advertising to those people. And I don't actually want to do anything.
Right.
I don't want to do anything. I want to do as minimum as possible. Is it, can I leave everything else up to you guys, or you guys figure out what the product is, what the plan is, what the price points are going to be, what the affiliate commissions are going to be, whoever's managing this stuff, what their fair compensation is going to be, who's going to actually take care of doing making sure the shit launched and gets put out there and managed on JVzoo, and whatever minimum list of shit that needs to be done because only I can do it, and this is what's needed.
Yeah, maybe, certainly we can do that. And my thought on this is let's not limit the amount of leads that they can query. Let's make this as attractive as we can to both the affiliate and the person buying it, and build that list. That's strictly what it's for. Build a list. And like you just said, it's not about making a huge amount of profit on that software, on domain leads, because the end goal is to put as many people as you can in the database and retarget them with 5, 6, however many future softwares launch, retarget them in a drip campaign. My
cost is maybe $600 maximum for domain leads every month. Between getting the data and maintaining the server set, my cost is like $600 a month maximum. So if we, and we need to break that down as $600 cost, less 5%, less, commission. What does that equate out to? And work backwards on that. How many licenses do we need to sell in order to recoup that and make sure that you at least break even a monthly spend on that product? Well, for me, sorry, go ahead. The breaking even, I can say, is just a sunk cost. I mean, it's just $600, so it could be, it's just a sunk cost. So I don't really care if we limit the amount of leads or not myself.
So at $47 a month, and you got to give 5% to JVzoo, you've got to give 60% in commission to the affiliate. Here's the net on that. So 35% is 67. We need X amount of licenses per month just to cover the cost, the spend, the server, whatever other dev costs might be involved. So to cover that flat 600, we need 500 licenses sold. And once 500 licenses are sold each month, that covers the spend. It's probably less than that, but I'm just throwing out some figures. Just know that we have to.
I still think we need to have some kind of a limit on a download.
If we want to have we have to.
Yeah, because right now I think there's something like either it's 5.7 or 2.7 million records in that database. If I were to do simply say, show me everything from this date to that date and download it all, and I have no cap, well, that's not going to be too good. It puts strain on the server, plus it's diminishing the value of all that data. I'd rather people have to come back frequently because that puts us in front of them constantly, right? So, and it doesn't have to be an onerous limit, but it has to be one where they feel that's plenty that I need for today.
100 leads a day.
I want to come back.
100 leads a day. I mean, so that's 3,000 a month leads.
Yeah.
For them to work with.
Yeah, it could even be more. It can be 200 a day. That's fine. So it has to be a generous amount where they feel I couldn't call that many people anyway, right? And that's fine. Right. But not unlimited. Not all at once. Unlimited as far as you can come in here forever, but there's a limit per day.
Right. Yeah, that's good. I like it.
Well, we could also make it unlimited, unlimitless. We could also make it unlimited, but what we could do is we could make it a pain in the ass for the user to say, hey, give me every single lead you got, let me download it. We can say, hey, I'll give you every single lead I got, and what you have to do is you actually have to select the leads that you want to download. So if you want to download through all of them, you got to click 50 pages of stuff.
I still wouldn't want that, John, only because part of my intention, at least the thought behind this was, if I'm having you come back to this application once a week, once a day, it gives us the opportunity to put a message in front of them every time they log in. Because we control the interface of that product.
Every day we add leads to the platform. They have to come back because every single day.
If I'm downloading 500,000 leads today or 50,000 all at once, I may not need to have to come back for a while. Who knows? But my point is, if I have you come back frequently.
Tomorrow, like the freshest leads you can get from the platform, the ones that are the best to buy, they don't get here till tomorrow. So you have to come back tomorrow because that's like everything else is old. Somebody else has that shit already. Like the best leads you can get in the platform are always coming in tomorrow. I mean, we can make it with a limit too. I'm indifferent either way myself. But I think even without a limit, it works because it's not a stagnant set of data. Like every single day, the data set is changing. Like the expiring domains. You don't know whose domain is expiring 31 days from now until tomorrow, because then it's only 30 days, and you know that guy's 30 days from now, his domain is going to expire. He needs to renew it, and I can actually send him an email and get him to renew under my GoDaddy affiliate link, and now I get commission on every single thing that dude buys from GoDaddy, just because he renewed his domain under something that already looks like GoDaddy if you're a GoDaddy affiliate.
Yeah, I guess I was seeing it from more, if I have you visiting with for whatever reason, the application with certain frequency, it allows us to, if we wanted to, leverage that interface as a way to have ongoing communication with them. It allows us to put a message in front of them every single time. It wouldn't just be the logo and the menu structure. It could be an offer. It could be a message. It could be a reminder. We have a training coming up. We have a webinar coming up. We have a product that fits in directly with the domain leads for even more. It gives us basically a marketing platform, right? Because we control that product.
Sure.
So every time they log in, we'd have the option of putting a message in front of them if we chose to.
So just make just do it on like a limit, an upsell to a limit, and an upsell on no limit, and that upsell on no limit be like a $500 purchase, like a high ticket purchase, a $500, a $900 purchase, because that makes it from an affiliate perspective. If I'm telling you you're getting 75-80% commission on a $7 front end with a $50 upsell and a $900 upsell, then they should be pretty incentivized to be like, okay, well, some people could just buy the 7. What if somebody wants the 900? I make a shit ton of money, so I better push this out. And that still tells us good information about the dude that has an extra $900 to blow on something that he's just going to go in and use one time, and he's not going to log into every single day.
I like that.
Or we can do whatever. Like I said, if I don't have to manage it and you guys just say, hey, John, this is what we're going to do, then I'm good with that too.
Yeah, 200 leads a day for $47. And then the upsell is for $997 or $797. How about unlimited? We unlock the account for you and see if they do.
Right.
I mean, I just sat through OfferMind with Steve Larson last week, and during that OfferMind, he put his offer out. So he did the perfect webinar for 2 days. And at the end, when he hit us with his close was, I mean, he built out all the different pieces, parts, and the capabilities of it. It was unbelievable. He got to the sale part of it, and the sale was, I mean, this is off of guys who bought in at the $47 account for 200 downloads. So everybody got in for a price. Then he did an upsell. The upsell was for 13 grand. You get my team for a year. We're going to help you, your funnel, your messaging, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that was 13 grand. And out of there's probably 250 people in the room. Out of 250 people in the room, I think probably 30 went to the back and signed up for the $13,000 one. And on top of that was that next one. That's that 997, get all the contacts you need one. At 997, there were 2 of us that bought that at 35 grand. He had one last one that was $35,000, and Steve builds your funnel. Steve writes your message. Steve does everything with you for 35 grand. So, and his promise is he'll get you to a Common Club offer. So at any rate, make a long story short, put it out there. Not everybody's going to buy that $997 package or that $797 package. They might, and that's just
bait for the affiliate. That's the bait.
Yeah,
for the affiliate. They're like,
for the affiliate. They know the upsell is, holy crap, I can sell $797
on my bank account tomorrow.
I guarantee you that affiliate is going to be selling the shit out of the $797 model.
Right.
And you get more love. You gain their mind share.
Yep. Kevin, we're going to need some help though in terms of the funnel itself, the pages, the design, the follow-up, the messaging. Yeah. We're not marketers on our side. We don't have a marketing staff of folks who can come up with that creative. So
I can build that.
You're not a marketer.
Yeah.
I can build a funnel and I can write the copy.
Great. Okay, good. That will be a key.
Hey, maybe what we do, this is, I mean, in exchange for all this, John, I'll manage the JVzoo. I'll handle the funnel build, the messaging behind it. Maybe I can trade you. This is my thought. I don't want anything off of all the revenue. How about I trade my inner circle $300 monthly for all of that? I cover everything JVzoo. I manage the funnels, the messaging. I'll work with Moman on how to get that launched, and I'll just trade that for the inner circle fee.
I don't like it really.
You want $300? All right, then.
I don't like it because if it's successful, then the percentage that you make from everything coming in should be much higher than that $300. And I don't have.
Yeah. I get it. Okay. And that's
it's
fair.
lopsided. It's too lopsided.
That's fair. That's fair. You're right. Maybe a small percentage. JVzoo gets 5%. I get 5%.
Someone gets 5%. Like, all right. So we know JVzoo needs 5%. All right. We know that.
They're taking 5%.
We know our affiliates are going to need somewhere between the range of 30 to 60, 70%. We know our affiliates are going to need somewhere between the range of 30 to 95%. All right.
Right.
We want to make it as possible for them. Everything in between there, we have percentage to pay somebody to do a funnel. If we can find somebody who's comfortable with doing a funnel and like actually doing content and front end shit for percentage of sales on a specific launch where we're just going to launch, let's say we take our next product to JVzoo, we launch it there for 7 days because that revenue pays to get those services provided. And then after that, we launch it to the email list that we already have. Then we can essentially outsource all that type of work that we ever need just from commissions, as long as we can find people that have done a launch and they've made money on the back end through the commissions of all those sales, just like the affiliate. Like let's say Blake, you have a great relationship with Blake, and let's say maybe he's interested you for 7%, or whatever that number ends up being, and we decide, okay, and by we, I mean other people who know that they also have that percentage that they can play with to incentivize themselves to manage this shit, so I don't actually have to manage it. They make the decision, okay, it makes sense to play Blake 10% for this because we're going to get these assets, and then we'll still have those assets after the fact. I need that $300. It's a calculated thing for me. So if I start going and saying this person's not going to have it, person's not going to have it, that person's not going to have it, then at some time I'm relying on all the back end, which is what I don't want to do in the first place.
Right. No, I get that. It's easier for you to manage. Yeah, we'll keep that. Yeah, we can figure out a percentage. I'll be honest with you. If you throw a carrot out there for these affiliates, put a 60% commission on a $797 product, an upsell. So the lead in is $27, and then on the or 47, and then on the next screen is an unlimited account for $797. I guarantee you the affiliates are going to give you a lot of love for that one, and they're going to hustle out there and start building a database quicker.
We don't need Tier 5 does not need any money on our first launch, considering that we can prove the model that on that launch we eliminate the cost to acquire a customer for X percentage of the total customers acquired because they purchased another product, and we don't have to acquire them, and we don't have to pay anybody else any commission for getting them because we just send them an email. Right. We're great. So we're gravy.
So to manage, actually, what I'll probably do is my son has his own digital agency. He's just down the hall from me, and Channing builds his own products. He's got an MBA. He's a data guy. What I'll probably do is I'll bring Channing in on this. So let's say 60% goes to 60% goes to the affiliate, 5% goes to JVzoo. There's 35% left. If I can pull that 35% out and put it in my son's hands, he'll crush the hell out of this for us. He absolutely will. So I'll put him in charge of it. Blake and I've started another project, and I think you know that. In fact, you're in the group. So Blake, we're close to firming it up. Rachel Lee said yes. We'll figure it out with her. I may actually circle back and get Catlin on the affiliate marketing side. But we have a new team that we have assembled under Side Hustle Republic. It's to help people. If you look at like just the ClickFunnels group, there's 189,000 people in there. 60,000 people pay for ClickFunnels. There's 120,000 that aren't doing anything. That's our market. So this new deal. All these courses that everybody are buying, the $997 course for this and the course for that and the course for this, and how do I do funnels and how do I do Instagram and how do I grow my Facebook groups? I've got Nika managed Grant Cardone's social media team. She left, started her own agency. Nika's involved. I've got Sydney. Sydney's a Google Ads expert. She's an MLM expert. She's a copy queen. She's on the team. Blake's on the team. We're looking at an affiliate marketer. And I got like the biggest hustler in the group in Daniel Barbosa. Daniel Barbosa came on. The kid's a podcast expert, YouTube expert. He built a $25 million Shopify store at 17. So here's this kid who's bilingual and speaks Spanish. So we built this core team. This is crazy. And Steve Larson is like, holy shit, this is going to be monstrous. So we built a core team of people that can handle everything from building funnels to social media ads, Google ads, growing your group, your social media presence, your podcasting, your YouTube channels. This core team is being built, and we're launching it tonight. That funnel with the deal, it's $19.95 a month. You get access to real-time coaches and mentors in the Side Hustle Paid For group. It's a membership group, membership portal. They buy it for $20. We've already got a database of close to 1 million people that this is going out to as soon as we launch. So they'll all be hit with an email that says, hey, why are you spending $1,000 on a guy that just became an expert on his course to fail, to get this, to get that, to continually fail? You get a live team of coaches and mentors who are going to teach you everything you need to know about launching a business, how to do funnels, how to do a podcast, how to do YouTube, how to hit your social media teams, your markets, your ads. You get all that for $20 a month. And we're thinking we'll probably have 100,000 users in this group in 12 months from all the different places that we're bringing these people in. So the beauty of that is now I'm partners with Blake. I'm partners with people that understand social media and ads and copy. And I can say, hey guys, we're going to build this funnel so we can launch product and build a list. And the beauty of this too, John, is tier 5 is listed in our when you log in and here's all the things you've got to do. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Then you log in, there's going to be right there. Do you need software? I'm not even talking about my company. I will never bring DigiOxide into any of the conversation moving forward in anything that has to do with funnels and funnel building. It's tier 5. It's 100% tier 5. So in there will be, hey, John Vaughn is your expert. You need software? Here's your guy. So we'll have a list of other people that are going to be included in this. You need an attorney. Here's Angela Langlot. She'll help you with trademark and copyright law. And there's just a lot of things we're adding into it to sweeten the pot. And we have some big name people that are, like Blake's mentor, the guy that's coaching and helping Blake in a lot of different areas is Kevin Harrington, the original shark from the Shark Tank. So it's crazy. So we've got a lot of other research building into this.
You got the Shark Tank guys in there.
Yeah. So the cool thing about this when it launches is I've already got a relationship. I've had a relationship with Blake for a while. I bought a lot of his funnels, used them, crafted them.
Oh, I thought you were saying bye. I didn't know what you were doing.
Always smiling.
So we'll build a fantastic funnel for domain leads, and what we'll just need to determine as a group, what's our entry cost? Maybe they get 100 leads a day for $47. They get in. The upsell is, hey, how about unlimited leads one time right now, one time only? This is the only time you're going to see this offer.
Yeah.
$797.
Here's what I would like to do. Here's what I think would be the best option. All right.
Okay.
I think that all parties involved should have the same stake as JVzoo. All right. Meaning there's 3 people here right now. And there's one person here that is possibly watching this video and not actually here right now. I could actually, which that means 5% times 3 or 5% times 4. All right. So it means 15 to 20%. I could possibly forgo my 5% if you guys think, well, that's fair. John doesn't need 5% because he's already a millionaire. All right. But I do think that
I'm a millionaire too. Everybody gets their fair share.
So I do think that I need 5% that is going to be allotted to Dennis, 5% that is going to be allotted to you. I would love to have 5%, but it's not actually necessary.
Take your 5.
Jay definitely needs 5%. Tier 5 does not need any actual revenue. I need to do as little as possible, which is why I want you guys incentivized so that I can understand that while I'm managing this company, you guys are micromanaging these other tasks that are needed for this company to be successful. So,
and you know that you're going to have to disseminate that other 5%. So what will happen is,
if you want to give your 5% to your son, and that's the decision that you make, Dennis, if you want to give your 5% to Kevin's son as well, because that's the decision that you make, that's up to you. If you guys want to give my 5% away because that's what you thought, then I can live with that as well.
No, here's what I'm saying is, there's going to be, the way it's going to happen is $797 comes in. Right off the top, JVzoo takes 5. Then JVzoo pays the affiliate their 60%, which means that leaves 35% coming back. That 35% will not be split to all the other parties. It'll go straight to you. So then you'll get it. You'll have to decide where it goes after that. So maybe that's worth 5% for you to have to disseminate, to dish out where it goes.
So, like I said, those things I don't care about, and like, well, I care about it gets done, and I have to do as little as possible because I have a bunch of other stuff to do. I think everybody that's involved here in this meeting, here, is going to be someone that's that needs to have an incentive to be involved in a perpetual ongoing of what's actually happening, what we're doing with these launches. All right. Right now we're just doing one. So I think that you guys both definitely, for me to rely that you guys are going to be incentivized to make sure this shit actually is executed beyond planning, that you guys need some incentive. I
agree.
How you guys divvy up everything else is up to your guys' strategic planning. So
I'm good with it.
From my perspective, you guys could both be my person to yell at. I could have 2 people to yell.
Yeah, well, basically, I'll be John's proxy from the Tier 5 side.
Okay.
Excellent. So then you can work things out, Kevin, as far as what needs to happen, how it'll work, and how do we coordinate all that.
Perfect. That works.
And then whatever I need to do, just let me know whatever I need to do, whatever is actually required from my side, because no one else can do it but me.
Okay, so I will. You're going to need. What you're going to have to do is just you're going to have to clone. I'll create a funnel. That's right. We're not doing any of those. I'll create a funnel for domain leads. I'll get it over to you guys to review. I'll share it with you. We can add, edit, change whatever we need to do. And once that's live, really, to be honest with you, we don't need anything but a JVzoo payment portal on the back end. Upload that at JVzoo. I think 47 and 790.
That I would just set up in my JVzoo account, right? Like in the account I sent to you, I would just go in.
It'll be launched. It'll have a JVzoo back end. We'll get it to talk, and everything's perfect. I think $47 for X, and then the upsell is the $797. I think that's perfect. Just the 2. One-time offer today. Only get unlimited leads for $797, and see who buys. See who takes that carrot. And then for the affiliate, I'll make sure that the cream of the crop for affiliates get introduced to it, and I'll start managing. I'll start managing who gets access to that. That way, we don't give it to turds, and we don't have to worry about returns and all the other. Yeah. You know, we have some shady guy trying to sell something.
Okay. All right. Good. And we're looking at a 14-day window until you're kind of back in the saddle and fully onboarded with the JVzoo.
Yeah, Dennis, to answer your question, probably no. I can probably get all that taken care of.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Because even then, it'd be a one-time thing.
It is just a one-time deal.
Yeah.
And you know, I can hand this initiative over to my son and say, go take care of the JVzoo stuff, get it set up on the back end. He did that for me with my mentor course over at ClickBank. He did it all. So I could say, hey, go learn this, go set it up. And he will. He's a brilliant kid.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
All I would like is at some point reasonable expectation of time on when to expect certain things are going to be done.
Let's have this live. Let's have this live in the next 21 days. That gives me 14 days to get through the onboarding process with JVzoo. Then that gives me a week. During that time, I'll have my son study up on JVzoo, what he needs to know. And from there, I'll make sure that, my thought is I'll manage the affiliates at JVzoo. My son will manage everything else. So he'll handle all the whatnots and the edits and whatever needs to be done there. So we'll have this up in 21 days, and we'll start doing lead gen via JVzoo sales. Sound good?
Cool. All right.
Yeah, I would
So
just at some point a time frame, like when to expect things, and then like what the final plan ended up being. Like we decided this, and this. These were the terms that we agreed to. This is how things are going to work, just so that I actually know what's going on.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So I'm looking at my deal. I went to so by the 18th of December, we want to be live. So I'm putting that on my calendar. Live with JVzoo domain leads. By the way,
are there any particular trigger dates that we should leverage in terms of end of year activities and such, so we can really leverage, the mentality of the affiliates?
Well, I'll be honest with you. Ad sales, through the social media accounts are high through the end of the year until Christmas. So to do any advertising on the social media platforms, you're at a premium until after Christmas, and then they go down again. So I don't know how many affiliates are really going to hit us, because they're probably going to pay twice as much as they normally do to advertise. But also understand, a lot of those affiliates already have their list that they'll send this out to as well. So throw that in there. I mean, we can soft launch this and then do a push behind it. They'll do all the advertising, but we can hit them, and they can send this out to their email database. See what happens here. Okay, so I've got my charging orders. Give me 14 days to get through the JVzoo onboarding. In that process, or during that time, I'll have my son involved, learning everything he needs to know on how to set this up over at JVzoo. And by the 18th of December, we'll be live.
Okay.
Did we agree 47 and 797? 47, you get how many leads do you get for 47?
To be honest, from my perspective, we agreed that I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you and I will work that out, Kevin. We'll come up with different scenarios.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Cool.
Because John doesn't want to know.
I want to know ultimately, like, what we ended up deciding. Like, so I can be like, well, that was a stupid decision we made. Let's not do it again. Or like, yay, that was great. Like, I care about the end result, but no, I don't care about the road to get there, as long as
right.
That's where we're trying to go. All I think we need to do right now from this is try to get a customer list and not have to pay for that customer list.
Yeah.
And see how that goes.
Hey, John, I have access to domain leads, right? Isn't that what came through this morning?
I don't know.
You would probably have two forms of access. One would be as an end user, be signed up for a free account, and the other as an inner circle where you have true unlimited access.
Yeah, I don't have access to domain leads right now. I'm trying. But
well, you can actually now create your own access, because you can manage domain leads users inside your affiliate dashboard, or you can just.
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
All right.
I added it to the API.
I didn't realize that was up yet.
Right, but the access you would have to create new accounts would be for the 50 free per day.
Well, you
John would enable you for your own account where you'd have true unlimited access as an inner circle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I did modify the API where you can actually do that with the API. You can create what account type that you actually want through the API.
Oh, really?
To the
including unlimited?
Correct.
Okay. Let me take a look at that. We may have to. Well, okay.
So if we're going to take that as a JVzoo launch, we can go in. Right now, we don't have any limits on the account. We can go in and actually limit that and say, hey, you're limited to 100 domain leads accounts or 50 domain leads accounts or whatever. Yeah. Or I can actually remove that part of the API if needed. But
yeah, for the moment, I would rather inner circle folks to be able to give out the 50 free per day and leave it at that, just the way you had it initially for now. And then we leave off the table the unlimited option until we figure out exactly how to strategically use that. It's easier to do that now than give it to them and pull it away, you know?
Yeah, so I did launch it earlier today, so I'll pull it away tomorrow.
Yeah. Just leave it to the 50 free. It's meant to be a lead generation for them. It's not really meant for them to be giving unlimited access away to people.
Correct, because it's also meant to be a lead generation for us.
Yeah.
No problem there.
Okay, cool.
So that's a doable for me. I need to change that in the API. Other than that, I don't have any doables.
Okay. All right, man. You're off the hook.
Well, I still have a lot of other doables. I mean,
I know. At least as far as this goes. All right, Kevin, I guess we'll be in direct contact. All right?
Sounds good. Yeah,
cool.
for sure.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, guys. Talk to you later.